Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. My partner, Kristen Oaks-White, is on assignment. Last year, Louisiana farmers harvested a combined 1.75 million acres of corn and soybeans across the state. According to the LSU Ag Center 2016 Ag Summary, those acres brought in more than 145 million bushels of grain to the market. However, as TWILA's Carl Wiggers shows us, conditions at ports along the Mississippi River made delivery of that grain more difficult.
High grain yields and low Mississippi River. These two factors together create a major issue for the port of Lake Providence. In fact, we've covered this very story in 2012. So why are we still having this problem 5 years later?
This is not an issue that just popped up this year. This has been going on for a long time.
Congressman Ralph Abraham and his staff have been working to alleviate this yearly struggle. They are working with the people who work at this port year after year, like John Martin of Terrell River Service.
Whenever we have high water flows, the water comes down through a Stack Island chute and it deposits sand in the middle of the Lake Providence Harbor. That sand has to be dredged out each year prior to low water.
That dredge arrived too late this year.
The timing could not be worse. We've got containers of soybeans that are there, ready to be loaded onto the barges. We can't get them there because everything is backed up.
When this port is backed up, elevators can't fill the barges they've committed to sell. Martin says if that continues, it could be a big problem for future business in the harbor.
If the barge lines sell freight to these guys, but then in turn they cannot get their barges out to move them to the Gulf, they no longer want to come in and do business with the elevators that are located here at the port.
According to Martin and Abraham, this scenario would mean bad news for Northeast Louisiana farmers.
As far as the farmer goes, this port is vital to them.
$250 million worth of grain go out of there on a yearly basis. Our farmers have done their job getting the grain to the port. The port will do its job loading the grain on. The port needs to do their job and allow us to get those barges out into the main channel. Our job in Congress is to make this work long term so that we don't repeat this every year.
From Lake Providence, I'm Carl Wiggers with This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.
With river levels on the rise and dredging complete, the problems in the Lake Providence Harbor are, well, no longer problems, at least for now. The new goal is for Martin, Congressman Abraham, and all of the stakeholders to come together and find a better solution to alleviate these issues before next year. Now, just as the river can hinder delivery of grain, the weather can hinder the growing of vegetables. That's why the Natural Resources Conservation Service is helping farmers pay for high tunnels, like that one right there that you see, so they can better control the conditions for growing vegetables and extend their growing seasons.
That's a cucumber growing behind that flower. For Ann Mills, it's a welcome sight regardless of the season.
I'm going to tell you, once you eat lettuce from your garden, you won't
that you pick that day and eat that day.
You won't like anything you buy in the store.
And the season is not as important because Ann and her husband Chris have their vegetables growing in this high tunnel.
This structure really has extended our growing season. I mean, I used to just grow in an open garden, of course, and now I start my plants in the dead of the winter.
As you can see, it's a greenhouse structure outside their home in Tensas Parish, and the Natural Resources Conservation Service helped them buy it.
It wouldn't have happened without NRCS. It wouldn't have happened.
Chris has been growing gardens all of his life, never with the plans to sell vegetables at farmers markets.
It's evolved to what it is now. I didn't know exactly how to handle a high tunnel like this. I've never used one.
They didn't know what they were doing the day they came in, but that's okay. They've worked with NRCS, they've reached out, they've done their own research, and they're improving their produce every year. They're targeting certain goals, improving their soil health with crop rotation.
Sarah Trishelle is the state program specialist for the NRCS. She says the NRCS provided funding to the mills through a program called Strike Force.
We have dedicated funds for those areas to help to promote conservation practices, to target those areas to improve the economic development, the economic growth of that area by implementing conservation practices. And just like they're doing here, they're using this high tunnel, potentially thinking about a community garden and helping serve others. So this is just another avenue that those Strike Force funds are able to help target those lower income parishes.
If you want to find some of Chris and Ann Mills' vegetables or some of their great Enola jellies and salsas, my mom absolutely loved the pepper jelly, you can find them at the farmers markets in St. Joseph and Natchez. To learn more about the NRCS, go to our website at twilatv.org. Folks in Crowley are gearing up this weekend for the 81st International Rice Festival. It's an exciting and fun time that celebrates one of the most important crops in southwest Louisiana. This week, TWILA's Neil Melanson introduces us to one of the honorees who exemplifies success in the rice industry.
It's pretty good times for Kent Brown these days. His crawfish and rice are on the upswing, and dry weather is helping him bring his ratoon or second crop of rice in. That's good because Brown's dance card is literally full right now. It's part of his duties as the 2017 International Rice Farmer of the Year.
I feel very honored to be selected.
The award comes at a time when all rice farmers are looking back at a couple of tough years. 2017 is just an average rice year so far.
But it was so much better than last year. Last year we had when the August floods hit, we still had 50% of our rice out in the field, and it really got devastated. It was hard to get it in after that, but what we did harvest was damaged, got a lower quality, so we're still recovering from that.
Fortunately, Brown's story doesn't begin with either this year's award or the last couple of years of hardship. It begins more than 125 years ago when this land was first cultivated by the Brown family.
Brown Farms has been, it was homesteaded in 1892 by my father's uncle. So I'm the fourth generation, and my son's going to be the fifth generation. He's got his own operation, but eventually be having this farm to farm. It was always for years and years and years. It was always cattle and rice. So there wasn't, the whole farm wasn't utilized up until the early 70s when soybeans came around, and that's whenever we started taking out fence rows. The herd was sold, closing in canals, putting underground pipe in, and the farm really became a lot more efficient, able to use every acre that we wanted to cultivate with the onset of soybeans. And so that required more labor. So I have three brothers in my family. Daddy always said this farm's not big enough for all y'all to farm. Well, my two older brothers were already in college whenever I was in high school, and they made their decision to go to college. And my younger brother made a decision to go to college. So it just kind of worked out real good for me. I was already involved in doing a lot of the work on the farm already. And so that's why in 1974 I made it full time. The identity of that house, that was where Grandma lived.
That long tradition continues to this day. His home is built on the site of an old farmhouse using boards from the original homestead to make the floors here. It's a pride and family that's seen everywhere around this farm. Kent's wife Jackie says while she wasn't born into the family, she certainly knows why her husband was honored this year.
It's indicative of a Lifetime Achievement Award for him, and he's worked so hard last 40 plus years in all of his years in farming, and I was very proud of him and very deserving.
The Browns certainly are enjoying the moment, but as we walk these lands that his family settled on and Kent literally helped build, you can't help but feel like what he's really looking forward to is another day of getting the fields ready for crawfish this time of year, another day of working the land in a paradise he calls home. For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Neil Melanson.
The International Rice Festival is this weekend, where Kent will serve as a grand marshal for the parade through the town of Crowley. For more information about the festival, we'll link you over to our website at twilatv.org. In northeast Louisiana, a lot of farmers are finishing picking their cotton. This week, TWILA's Carl Wiggers takes us to meet Dustin Morris. Now, Morris did not plant a single acre of cotton last year. In Dustin's words, he's blessed to have the cotton crop that he's had.
I'm Dustin Morris. I farm here in Richland Parish. I farm cotton, corn, and soybeans, and today we're just south of Stark. Yeah, so this is the first year in 10 years that I've grown cotton. I grew it early in my career, and we planted about 1,800 acres this year. You know, we're probably going to stay right there. We got the picker, so we're committed to, you know, roughly those kind of acres, and that's what we're planning on staying with. You know, we're pretty satisfied. August was rough on us. We feel like we lost a lot of cotton in August, so I don't think we had the crop that we once had, but it's better than we thought we were going to have after August and after Harvey. You know, it could have been really bad, so we're feeling pretty blessed. And today, the yield potential is far greater than anything we had 10 years ago. You know, the potential for these big yields are there. Obviously, we see Mother Nature throw us a curveball and we don't get them. But you know, the potential that's in the seed, and then, you know, behind that's the cotton picker. You know, we're able to eliminate so much labor. That was very burdensome on us to come up with all the people to make a cotton operation work, and now it's essentially a one-man deal. And that's really what was able to convince us to come back to cotton. I think I see people using it as a rotation tool. It's a way to, you know, spread your labor out a little bit thinner, get more efficiency out of your equipment, you know, because with grains it all happens at one time, and the cotton's more flexible on time. You know, we basically picked up enough land to justify this cotton, but we didn't have to add any equipment other than a cotton picker. And so, you know, that was a nice thing, that we gained a lot of land with no more equipment expense other than the picker. When I started farming, cotton didn't work for me, so I didn't really have this love for it. Today I kind of do, because I understand the management side a little bit better, and that's fun. You know, the management side of cotton is a lot more intense, and I've enjoyed that. I'm very thankful for the crop that we've got. I think the weather was tough, and we did lose a lot to the weather, but we're very fortunate to have what we got, and it's better than what I thought it was going to be, considering everything we've gone through.
Morris finished picking this week, and according to the USDA National Agricultural Statistics Service, Louisiana farmers have harvested more than 75% of the cotton crop. For more information about this year's cotton crop, head over to our website at twilatv.org. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards wants to hear about cotton, soybeans, cattle, and every other crop important to Louisiana. That's why he and Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry, Dr. Mike Strain, are embarking on an agriculture and forestry listening tour. The pair will travel the state in November to learn the needs and concerns of Louisiana's farmers, ranchers, and landowners. The tour kicks off November 14th at Woldridge Land and Cattle in Mooringsport, then travels to Vinoy Kennard Farm in Bastrop for the afternoon. On Thursday, November 16th, Governor Edwards and Strain will travel to Faraday to meet with farmers and ranchers at the Concordia Parish Community Center. That afternoon, they'll travel to Dennis Oquan's camp in Slaughter, just north of Zachary. On Friday, the pair will make 3 stops, starting at R&N Farms in Ville Platte, where Louisiana Farm Bureau 3rd Vice President Richard Fontenot will be the host. The next stop for 11:30 a.m. is Arnoldville at Olivier Farms. Then Edwards and Strain will head to Plaquemine in Iberville Parish to meet with growers at Alton Landry Incorporated. Lunch will be available at all of the noontime meetings. For more information, visit our website at twilatv.org. Still to come on TWILA, celebrating National Farmers Day online. But first, we get a full south of the border experience complete with tacos and tequila in this month's Feasting on Agriculture. Farm to Table comes through Baton Rouge through a first-of-its-kind tequila and taco event sponsored by Avion Tequila and Bitin' Booze. And you know, if there's tequila, Jay Ducote, and tacos, A.J. Sabine can't be far behind, which is why he takes us there in this edition of Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with A.J. Sabine is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, Ask Before You Eat, by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, Think Rice, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Hey there folks, I'm A.J. Sabine and welcome to another succulent edition of Feasting on Agriculture. This month, we're here in downtown Baton Rouge at the Brickyard South for Bitin' Booze's Tacos and Tequila event. Let me set the scene for you. Riverfront, tacos, Avion Tequila, Here's where farm to table meets urban eatery at its finest. Come with me now for an event you won't soon forget. Bite and Booze blogger and Food Network star Jay Ducote challenged 10 taco vendors to come up with their best taco and tequila recipes during his first ever TNT Showdown.
Well, we're planning government taco, and we feel like Baton Rouge needs more tacos. Tacos are a great vessel for really anybody to display any flavors that they want to. And so when you take the vehicle of a taco and you get chefs from all over Baton Rouge to put their vision forward, and you especially combine that with Louisiana seafood and with a farm-to-table approach, we've got people like Indie Plate here. Y'all have done stories on them and how they source local food. Magpie Cafe, seasonal, local, organic, that's their motto. So we're taking the chefs that are doing all things local and saying, hey, here's a competition. The constraint is make a taco.
It's gonna be good. Indie Plate gets food directly from farmers, and Indie Plate's also participating in the Tacos and Tequila Night. How will your taco prevail tonight?
It's creative as all get out, using materials and produce that we source from all around the area. So we have grass-fed beef that's coming from right across that bridge. We have producers that brought this food from within our area to you guys, so we have the freshest ingredients out of anybody here.
Did you say the freshest ingredients?
The freshest ingredients.
Do you have like a dead animal back here or something?
We're chopping it up back here. Yeah.
Oh, all right. So tell me about this taco. What is it again?
So we have a borracho banh mi taco. So
is this it?
This is it, yeah. So you have grass-fed beef, it's cooked in beer, some pickled carrots, a little bit of cilantro, red cabbage, our own house-made herb aioli, and a slammin' barbecue sauce on top.
Now, as you probably noticed from my hulking muscles, I am a tequila expert. What cocktail will you pair with this?
I haven't tried many of the cocktails yet. What I have tried is the hibiscus cocktail. It was very refreshing. When you add jalapenos to this, it's going to give it a really nice spice. So that hibiscus cocktail right down there, it's nice and cool, kind of mellows it out. So that would be my suggestion so far, but I got a few more to try out.
That's what's up. All right, Enrique. Coach I was represented tonight at Bite and Booze's Tacos and Tequila.
Yeah.
What you got for us today?
So we got chicken tinga tacos.
What is that?
It's gonna be a green tomatillo sauce with a bit of a chipotle roasted. We're gonna do a little crema fresca. We're gonna do a little white cheese, and we're gonna do a pickled onion with cabbage on it.
Why will Coach prevail tonight?
Because we always do, man. Wow.
Why is farm to table so important to your restaurant and your competition here tonight?
Well, so 15 years ago, we started Fresh Junkie at the Main Street Market. And so we've been dealing with the farmers at the Red Stick Farmers Market for 15 years. So we work through whatever they got, whenever they got it. It's the freshest stuff you can get. You support your local economy. You support the guys that are really working their butts off all the time. Being a farmer makes what we do look silly.
Time to get busy, getting busy. That's good agriculture right there, folks. I don't care who you are. Good stuff. When we return, I'll introduce you to...
I'm Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
And I'm Sydney.
Stick around. We'll be right back. All right. Because I'm hooked on phonics, I see that you're Babe 1 and you're Babe 2.
Yes. We are the Bouillabaisse.
Why will the Bouillabaisse prevail tonight in Tacos and Tequila Night?
Because we are led by female power.
Who doesn't love female?
Yes.
So look, why is farm to table in Louisiana agriculture important to your victory tonight?
Oh man, I think it's never not important. I think that in order to truly prevail, you have to be able to tie yourself into the culture of where you're from and where your people are from and who you're feeding, which is why we think it's so important to do farm to table and to do locally sourced ingredients.
That's a great segue to your Babe number 1.
Yes.
What is your taco tonight, and what ingredients are we talking
So
about?
our taco tonight, we're calling it the Daphne because it's actually a spin on our classic taco, on our classic sandwich at our pop-up event at Corbett Brew and Draft. We have a red curry pulled pork, a green apple coconut slaw, and then we deep fried some peanuts and tossed it in a curry and fried shallot mixture, and then we whipped up some peanut butter with coconut oil and a couple of bright herbs in there.
Stop it. Are you flirting with me?
Yeah, that's how we flirt with our food. Yeah, we flirt with our tacos.
Well, look, I can't leave you guys. Without tasting one. Let's hook that up. I have the best job on the whole world. Instead of wine, women and songs, tacos, tequila, and Kia babes.
Salami.
Awesome. Salami, baby. That looks delicious.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much, ladies. I hope you guys win.
Thank you so much.
Put it in your mouth. Come here. Oh, I'm putting it in my mouth. I'm putting it in my mouth. I'm going to be like Kool and the Gang and get down on it, baby. Mmm. Mmm. Love that curry.
That's what we like.
That makes it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
From the Brickyard South, I'm A.J. Sabine for Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with A.J. Sabine was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board. Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat. By the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice. And by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
October 12th was National Farmers Day, and folks all across social media were busy posting their support of the small percentage of our population who work in acres, not hours. American Farm Bureau produced several graphics for other state farm bureaus to share across social media in celebration of National Farmers Day. The Pennsylvania Department of Ag shared this photo with a quote from Paul Harvey's "So God Made a Farmer" speech with the caption, "They care for the land and care for their livestock. They care for our food. From sunup to sundown, rain, snow, or shine, Pennsylvania farmers work hard every day to provide for our state and our nation." Senate Ag Republicans tweeted this photo explaining how many people the average farmer feeds today compared with 50 years ago. Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry shared his support for Louisiana farmers on Twitter and gave a shout out to Louisiana Farm Bureau in the process. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker also shared his appreciation for his state's farmers with this tweet, "Thank you to all the Wisconsin farmers on National Farmers Day and every day. Wisconsin's 68,700 farms produce milk, food, and fuel for us and the world." Farm Credit East tweeted this photo with a very interesting statistic. 1.5 acres, that's how much we each eat in a year. Hashtag thank a farmer. Fairlife tweeted this photo saying, "Thank you to those who wake up at 4 a.m. so others can have milk for their 9 a.m. coffee." Once again, the Beck's Why I Farm campaign hit a home run with another moving video that celebrates the hard work and dedication of America's farmers during harvest season.
I know harvest is a lot of work. We have a lot of really late nights, but we still sit down for dinner together. Dad always reminds me that farming is important. We are helping feed the world. It's pretty cool when you think about it. So the next time you see a combine out in the field, wave, because it might be me. That's what I like most about this time of year.
Moving on to this week's TWILA Trivia, last time we asked you, in what year did the 4-H organization adopt the clover as its emblem? And the correct answer is 1907. This week, our trivia question is, in what year did Hiram Moore invent and patent the combine harvester? Is it A, 1826, B, 1835, or C, 1842? To enter this week's trending trivia contest, simply log on to your Facebook or Twitter account and post your answer with the hashtag TWILA Trivia, or you can always submit your answer on our website at twilatv.org. That does it for this edition of TWILA. Be sure to join us next week when we'll take you through the process of raising beef from hoof to plate. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.